Hi lovelies, welcome or welcome back. In today's video, we are setting up my August 2025 bullet journal together. It's peak winter here in New Zealand right now, so yep, definitely in sweater weather mode. As always, before we get started, let's do a quick flip through of all my other bullet journal themes for this year so far. I honestly can't believe it's already August. I know July technically marks the second half of the year, but when you talk about it, it feels like just mid-year, but August really feels like we've crossed that line, right? So my July theme was super soft and gentle, inspired by Monet's water lilies. It had a lovely wintry feel to it, but you might have already noticed I've got these really bright rainbow-colored markers out today, so this month's theme is going to be the total opposite of last month. I've picked out 14 pens in 7 different colors, with 2 shades of each, one darker and one lighter. It's going to be a really colorful thread. I have 2 sets of Arctic's acrylic markers, and I've got them swatched out here. I don't usually go for colors this bold, I tend to prefer more muted tones, but since I'm using acrylic markers, the color range is a bit more limited compared to my water-based markers. And it was honestly hard to find the soft versions of these rainbow colors, so I thought, why not just embrace it and give something bold a go? A bit of challenge for myself, and who knows, I might end up loving it. So the theme for August is Tetris. I'm placing all the patterns down the bottom of the page, just like in the game. I've actually been playing it lately. There are so many versions of the classic Tetris now, and they are actually still pretty fun. I'm not really a gamer, but I do enjoy a quick puzzle game on my phone to relax or pass the time. And I've also been playing while listening to podcasts. It's so chill. So that gave me the idea to bring Tetris into my bullet journal. The other reason is, of course, the color. Do you remember those old black and white handheld consoles we used to play? The modern versions of Tetris are super vibrant and colorful, which I feel like we desperately need right now in the Southern Hemisphere. I filmed this video around the 20th of July and it was so cold. I know spring officially starts in September here, but in my head, winter kind of ends with July, so I just wanted to bring in some color and brightness to my journal. Using a dotted notebook makes it really easy to draw the blocks. I'm using a 3x3 dot grid for each one. I leave a bit of space between blocks so I can add frame lines later. I know technically the same shape of block is meant to be the same color, but I'm not too fast about that. I'm just more focused on making sure the colors are well spread out and not too repetitive. Also, I'm doing something a bit different this time for my monthly layout. Normally, I have the monthly cover on the right and a monthly calendar on the left, but this time I'm using both pages as one layout. These Tetris blocks will actually be the calendar. I'll just make sure there are at least 31 blocks and then I'll go back and number them. Next, I add darker outlines to each block to give them that 3D look. I really like how it turned out. Those bright colors don't feel so scary now, and for the title, I'm copying the Tetris logo style. I sketch it out first just to make sure I don't make mistakes, and then fill it in with a black acrylic marker. The notebook I'm using is the Paper Ideas A5 dotted hardcover, available from my stationery store, hedgehogjournals.com. I'll pop a link in the description if you are interested. It's got 100 GSM paper, which handles most acrylic markers and water-based markers really well. No bleeding, no surprises. The color of the book I'm using is called light mauve, but we've also got heaps of other colors, so feel free to check them out. And then I use a finer pen to clean up the edges, and I thought some colorful little stars would look good scattered around. And finally, I add white highlights to the blocks to make them look more dimensional. I think it looks even better on camera. If you didn't know, I use my monthly calendar as a sort of highlight a day spread for memory keeping. I'll come back and doodle or draw something in the blocks at the end of the month. After adding the tiny dates to the corners, my August monthly setup is all done. I was honestly a bit nervous using such bright colors, but now I really love how it turned out. Now let's move on to the weekly pages. For the monthly cover, the blocks were 3x3, but in the weekly layouts, I need more writing space, so I shrink them down to 2x2. For week 1, I've placed the blocks individually on either side of the spread instead of stacking them, and I'm making sure to use all the colors again. For the dates, I keep it super simple, just a small block for each day. I'm skipping the days of the week since this is clearly a weekly log. Counting from Monday to Sunday will be super easy, so it doesn't need extra labels. I draw thick black lines around the blocks to give it that comic style gaming vibe. Once all the dates are in, I add highlights again. I always do that last so the inks are completely dry and don't smudge the white marker. And just like that, week 1 is done. A little bit different from week 1 here, I'm stacking the blocks in the middle of the spread like in a game. I really enjoy this kind of layout. It feels like I'm playing a game while drawing, figuring out where the next piece should go. So it's really fun. After building a pile at the bottom, I added a few floating pieces above, just like they're dropping in. The writing space sits on either side of the blocks. I don't even need to count the grids or use my grid spacing sheet because I can sort of see the outlines from the previous page, so I know exactly where to draw. Handy. If you are new here, I use 2 journals every day in 2025. This bullet journal for habit tracking and reflections, and a smaller weekly planner for scheduling and to-do lists. In this bullet journal, I do an 8-block weekly layout, one for each day and one for a weekly review. I write quite a bit, so I need enough space for each day. I felt like something was missing again, so of course more stars. I went back and added them to week 1 as well. Now both weeks are complete, let's carry on. For week 3, I kept the blocks down the bottom and left space above for writing. I didn't stack too high, needed to leave enough room. I've now used over half of this journal and it's so satisfying to see it getting a bit worn and chunky. Not too thick though, I've avoided heavy clutching, but the acrylic markers definitely give the pages a bit of texture, which I actually love. I've been journaling almost every day this year. Even if I miss a couple of days sometimes, I always come back and catch up, so I'm feeling really proud of myself. It's been so rewarding to flip through everything. I actually just uploaded a mid-year flip through video, so if you're curious how I use both my bullet journal and planner, definitely check that out. For this spread, I did a cross layout up top, kind of like a toy windmill. I used my grid spacing cheat sheet to guide the lines. And yep, drawing the wrong spot at one point, but no worries. I just covered it with a white marker. I'll put one more layer on later when it fully dries. Easy fix. It still turned out cute and definitely added some fun to these grey winter days. The acrylic markers I'm using are from Artix. These were kindly gifted to me, but honestly they are amazing. I've used them in my bullet journal and planner for March, May, June and July, and August. Week 4's layout has blocks standing in the middle, stretching both up and down so it's not just a straight line. I like switching up the weekly layouts within the same theme. It keeps things fresh and makes the journaling process more fun. These rainbow colors turned out way better than I expected. I'm absolutely loving how bright and cheerful it looks. They've really brightened up my gloomy winter days, and I'm so glad I gave them a go. I've added stars on both sides again and extended them up and down a bit just to softly divide the space between each day so I don't have to draw harsh lines over here. And there we go, my August 2025 bullet journal setup is all finished. Let's do a final flip through. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, enjoy your summer and soak up that sunshine. And if you're like me down here in the South, stay warm and take care of yourself. Let me know if you've got any questions or ideas in the comments, and I'll see you again soon.